What's happening, everyone? Time for another beautiful malt review. Um, Definitely missing Mike for this one. It's a very complex beast here, but that's okay. Wanted to get this review out. Been doing a lot of sherry reviews, so definitely wanted to get something from a refill bourbon cask, something aged. Aged whiskeys, when you age for a long time in refill bourbon, could do beautiful things. This is an independent bottler from the Thompson Brothers. The first half of this cask went to the Netherlands, and the second half came to the United States to K&L Wines, perhaps my favorite whiskey shop. So I got this beauty from K&L. I'd already heard a little bit of buzz from Europe about this, so I made sure to get a couple bottles. The price was very fair. I can't remember exact, but somewhere in the $200 range for a 30-year-old cask strength Scotch. Can't go wrong there. This is a 1990 vintage Speyside. Doesn't say which distillery. It's bottled at 50.4% ABV. I don't know how many of these came to the US. I don't know if it says on here. Number of bottles, 150. And I believe close to that for like 130 or something like that for Europe. So not very many. Again, refill bourbon, bottled at 50.4. And it does not say what the distillery is, just that it's refill bourbon, 30-year-old Scotch. Here we go. This has been breathing for a good 20 minutes, at least. It's got a very nice light, beautiful color, just natural, the way you want to see it. At 30 years, this should hopefully be doing some beautiful things. Here we go. Let's find out. Right away, I get this like beautiful honey oil. It's a lot, there's a lot of oiliness going on here, right? It's a beautiful honey oil. I get a very unique waxiness. It's almost hard to describe this kind of waxiness because you don't normally get this in whiskey. So it's got this beautiful, sweet, unique, kind of funky oiliness along with a beautiful waxiness. So right away you start thinking about things like Klein Leash and Ben Nevis and you know, beautiful whiskeys like that. In terms of style of like wax, like uniqueness. Then you get like wheatgrass, granola, oats, dusty, old papers. Honeydew melon. The sweetness is a very honey. I said honey oil, but a honeydew melon. There's also like a papaya sweetness. Golden raisins. Almost like a basil. But probably more wheatgrass than basil. It's creamy, it's waxy, it's oily, vanilla ice cream kind of creaminess. Almost like a shoe polish kind of waxiness. Keep trying to think of like waxy kind of things and oily kind of things, and then it's earthy kind of things, and then the papaya honey sweetness, and I think that describes the nose, but it's very complex, as you could see. Like complex could just maybe, you know, you could name off a lot of different fruits or a lot of different desserts, but this is like complex in like that. Wheatgrass, honey, oily, waxy, papaya, you know, raisins, just kind of going all over the place, but it's all just beautiful and organized in harmony, I should say. palate. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Creamy vanilla. Definitely waxy. That old book, kind of dusty old bookstory kind of smell you get, kind of like Dunagee old bookstory, dusty papers, kind of weird bitter. It's nothing sweet, but then when the honey sweetness comes in and it mixes with that, and the papaya and almost like a, yeah, I don't know about mango, but like a light mango almost, but papaya, apricot, more papaya, apricot, and those golden raisins and the honeydew melon with that waxy and oiliness, little grassiness, little earth, and then yeah, you combine all that. It just is a oily, slightly fruity, waxy, little bitter, little sweet, and it's an experienced whiskey drinker's whiskey for sure. That's definitely a thing. If you're a beginner to Scotch whiskey, this is probably not it for you, especially bottled at full strength. And it's kind of got a lot of complexity going on. It would be hard to probably enjoy it. But if you're an experienced drinker, and certainly if you enjoy aged refill bourbon, we do a lot of reviews on this channel where it tends to be sherried for some reason, but we do drink just as much bourbon matured whiskey. It just seems to be that we're always grabbing sherry stuff to review, especially when it comes to old school stuff. I would say when it comes to old school whiskeys, the old school sherry is so unique. But in today's releases, tend to actually almost appreciate more bourbon matured whiskeys, this being one of them. So absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna go in again, and I should probably add a drop of water. 2 drops of water since it's cask strength, but I don't have a lot of whiskey there. Yeah, definitely getting that basil and almost like a banana skin. Yeah, definitely a banana skin. When you're peeling that banana, you get that smell for sure on the taste. Yeah, there's like the beautiful bitter, like wheatgrass meets green tea meets basil. It's almost like a tea that's with wheatgrass, basil, and honey and apricot, and it's nice. Oh, and then on an empty glass, you just get, with just a tiny drop of whiskey left, you get even more luscious honey. The fruit comes out even more in an empty glass, and just those golden raisins and apricot and honey. Oh yeah. Oily, waxy, grassy, really nice. Really nice whiskey. It's got a nice finish. There's no complaints. It's not a whiskey I would drink when I'm just like gathering with friends at a party. This is not the style. This is kind of the one where I would maybe sit down with one friend or even alone, where I just get to sit down and analyze it. It is a whiskey you want to sit down and analyze. Where I guess perhaps sometimes when you get like an 18-year-old regular sherried whiskey, it's an easy one to just notice those 5-6 things that it does really, really well, even, you know, without having to dig and find those flavors. So I guess that's the thing with the refill and aged for a long time. But I have to give this whiskey a 91 out of 100, and I think it was less than $200. So it was a spectacular spectacular value. Can't buy it anymore, but do look out for releases like this from places like Thompson Brothers and others as well. They tend to be very fairly priced. I don't think they're all this good, but they're good, you know, the potential of them being just very, very good is definitely there. So something to look out for in the future. And the value is absolutely there. You know, with independent bottlers, sometimes you get a crappy one and sometimes you can hit the jackpot. And this is a jackpot one. So there we go. If you haven't subscribed and you're looking for many more reviews like this, many more gems like this, then definitely subscribe. Hit the like button. That lets us know that we should keep doing these reviews, and we'll see you soon for many more. Cheers.